Hello, everyone. Today we're going to talk about solving right triangles. So to solve each of the following right triangles, what that means we're going to do is we are going to find all the missing angles and sides of the triangle. We are going to use our trigonometry, which remember, sine of the angle is opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine of an angle is adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent of an angle is the opposite over the adjacent side. The other thing we're going to use to help us is our Pythagorean theorem. Remember, Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and that c always has to be your hypotenuse. So to do number one, the first thing I'm going to look for is I'm going to look for that missing side. So here's my right angle. So that missing side I'm looking for is my hypotenuse. So in the Pythagorean theorem, that's C. A and B I can use 3 and 9 for. So I'm going to do a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So that's 3 squared plus 9 squared equals c squared. That's what I'm looking for. So that's 9 plus 81 equals c squared. So that's 90 equals c squared. I take square root of 90 to get just c, and that gives me 9.5 when I round to the nearest tenth. So this side of my triangle is 9.5. Now I need to find the two angles. So to help us out, I'm going to label them. So I am going to label this angle A and this angle B. It's entirely up to you which one you find first. I'm going to find angle A. So since this is my angle, I know that 3 is my opposite and 9 is my adjacent. So I want to use the information they told me. If I have to, I can use the information I figured it out, but I always want to try to use what they told me. So I have opposite and adjacent, which is my tangent. So I'm going to say tangent of A is my opposite side, 3, over my adjacent side, 9. Then to find A, I do the inverse tangent of 3 over 9. Because I always do the inverse tangent when I'm looking for the angle. So I do that on my calculator. So I'm going to do second, the blue button, then tangent, and then 3 over 9. Hit enter, and it tells me it's 18.4349, but I'm rounding to the nearest degree, so that means A is 18 degrees. To find angle B, I'm just going to use the fact that I know triangles always add up to 180. So I'm going to say 18 plus 90 plus B equals 180. So that's 108 plus B equals 180. So therefore B equals 72. And I solved for that triangle. So I want you to pause, and I want you to find my missing side in number 2, which I'm calling B. So I used the Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, and I substituted in 21 for A and 25 for C, because C has to be the side across from the right angle. And I solved that, and I found that B is 13.6. So now I need to find my missing angles. So again, I'm going to name them just to help you follow along. So I'm going to go with C. Actually, let's not do C. Let's do D and E. So I'm going to call this one D and this one E. So to find D, and again, you could find either one, 21 is opposite, 25 is my hypotenuse. So to find D, I'm going to use the sine, because sine is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine of D is 21 over 25. Since I know the sine, to find the angle, I do the inverse sine of 21 over 25. And I do that on my calculator by doing second sine 21 divided by 25. And that told me 57, rounded to the nearest degree. To find E, I know my angles have to add up to be 180. So it's 57 plus 90 plus E equals 180. And I solve that. And E equals 33 degrees. So my missing side is 13.6, and my missing angles are 57 degrees and 33 degrees. Number 3 is slightly different because I know 2 of the angles. So the easiest thing to do, first of all, is find my other missing angle. And again, I know my angles have to add to be 180. So I can do 180 minus 90 minus 38 if you like. It's another way of doing it. And I get that this angle is 52. Now I need to find my 2 sides. So I can name my sides. I'm going to name one X and one Y. Here's my right angle. So across from my right angle is my hypotenuse. I'm going to use the angle they gave me just in case I made a mistake getting the 52. So in terms of the angle they gave me, 11 is my adjacent, X is my opposite. So it's totally your choice which one you find first. I'm going to find Y first. So in terms of my angle, I have my adjacent and my hypotenuse. So that's cosine of 38 equals 11 over Y. So to find Y, I put cosine of 38 over 1. I cross multiply. So that's Y cosine of 38 equals 11. Remember, cosine of 38 is just a number, so I'm going to divide both sides by that. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. So Y is equal to 11. So I'm going to use my fraction button. Alpha Y equals fraction 11 over cosine of 38. And rounded to the nearest tenth, that's 14. Because 13.958 rounds to be 14.0. Now to find X, I have 2 choices. I can either choose to use trigonometry again, or I can use the Pythagorean theorem. I use trigonometry again, because here I have my 38, and it's already labeled, so I'm going to do tangent of 38 equals X over 11, because tangent's opposite over adjacent. So I put tangent of 38 over 1, cross multiply, and that's 11 tangent of 38 equals X. So I'm going to do that on my calculator. It's important that you put the number in front of the tangent. So it's 11 times tangent of 38. And it's 8.6. So I want you to pause, and I want you to try number 4 and come back and check. Okay, so first of all, my missing angle should be 16, because I did 180 minus 90 minus 74, and I got 16. Here's my right angle, so 35 is my hypotenuse. Here's my angle that I was given. So I'm going to call this side A and this side B. So A is my adjacent and B is my opposite. So to find A, I'm going to use cosine. So it's cosine of 74 equals A over 35. Put cosine of 74 over 1. I cross multiply. So it's 35 cosine of 74 equals A. And I do that on my calculator. Which gives me to the nearest tenth, 9.6. Now for B, that's opposite over hypotenuse, so that's sine. So I'm going to say sine of 74 equals B over 35. I put sine of 74 over 1, cross multiply, 35 sine of 74 equals B. Do that on my calculator. And that's 33.6. So that is the end of our video for today. Your assignment now is to finish the 7.7 Go formative. Any questions, ask me in class on Monday.